documents should be required of us, or as the head of the office, with regard to the release of particular operating funds?
Okay. Dahil sinabi ni Sir eh. Okay. Tama ka Sir, kung ano yung nasa budget mo, you're authorized to disburse that. Okay? Basta of course within the purposes by which those funds were appropriated. Okay. Now, ang tanong ni Sir kung hindi ba dapat ito is good as release document na. Okay. I guess if you are under the national government, we have that so-called yung bagong reform namin ngayon na kapag na-approve na yung General Appropriations Act, it is still released to each of the national government agencies. Okay? No further approve kung sinasabi, no further documentation. But I guess, sir, under the local government unit, you are adapting, I believe, a budget system or allotment release system. Okay? Ngayon, at the instance that when you are requesting for some fund at sasabihin po sa inyo, hindi pa yan pwede i-release. The reason may be, nababasa ko kasi doon is, doon sa allotment release system nyo, at a certain period, or a quarter, or for a month, meron din talagang nakalaan na budget for those periods. Okay? So the reason might be, kapag sabihin sa inyo, hindi pa yan pwede i-release, is because maybe wala doon outside doon sa nakabudget for that particular quarter or month. Okay? So, as I understand, dun sa budgeting allotment system po kasi ng local government unit, nagre-release ang budget office ng allotment kada office. And I guess it is programmed by month, sir, or quarterly.
But we are still, sorry to interrupt na, but this here's the thing. Minsan, the quarter has already ended and I still haven't gotten the release. So, this is a reality and I will vouch and I will say this on behalf of all of my fellow colleagues here. They're not here right now as of this moment, but I know their staff understands this very clearly. We've been getting the sort of like the runaround. We're all confused because we don't know kung ano ba talaga ang totoo, which is why we have come to you to clarify this matter. Because ang nangyari sa katotohanan lang po ay puro na kami talaga ang abon. And I know that also you frown on cash advances, on the part of the and reimbursables because you still have to liquidate that. And you have to prove that this was actually used for this particular, and I understand, and I am all for that, which is why what we are seeking is a systematic system of release wherein we can operate, all of our offices, individual offices, can operate and perform the vital daily operations that we are entitled to. For example, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure my fellow colleagues here have their own right that they would like to air out, is my internet service bill, which is essential to actually my advocacy towards full transparency by virtue of an ordinance which was passed, is being advanced and paid for through my own pocket, and I'm merely being reimbursed. My traveling expenses, all these other regular daily MOE expenses are for some reason not being released to the offices as it was intended to. And not to implicate anyone, I could not really in good conscience accept or adhere to certain practices that are currently being used for the purposes of expediency kasi sinasabi na wala kasi tayong budget para sa ganito, kaya dito na lang natin kukunin o wala naman kayong budget para sa ganyan. And I keep saying to myself, this is our budget, the Sangguniang's budget. As you mentioned before, we get to create what we want for ourselves. And then it's up to us to decide how it is to be spent. As long as it's been approved and it's been enacted, why are we being subjected or limited in such a way wherein we are forced to use extraordinary workarounds, I guess that's the best safe way to say it, in order to get these funds released. It seems that we are being held hostage by certain existing entities. I'm sure you're aware of this now, that take advantage of that particular system. Going back also to that, there's also a problem in the release of the salaries of, because it's connected here also. There's a problem with the release of the salaries of our contractual or temporary employees. And then sometimes because of the delay, they've been working already, doing time in, time out, it's been a month, and yet they haven't received their proper compensation. So they're forced to go to entities who may or may not be working with entities within the LGU and provide loan services for that matter. Kasi medyo ako, this is my first term and I really wasn't aware of certain practices. And if you're fresh off law school and then you see all of these things and you know for a fact, deep in your heart, that this is something that should not be going on, you ask yourself, okay, what's going on here? There's something, and then you realize that politics is also a balancing act wherein you have to compromise certain things. But then when it comes to a point where you're already compromising your own sense of integrity or your own knowledge of what is to be what the law is, then perhaps there should already be a limit. And then my term is almost over. Matatapos na ako in less than a year. And I keep on asking myself, why did I enter local politics? Because I wanted to make a difference. Have I really made a difference in the past 2 years, or have I just been doing what everybody else has been doing because they seem helpless or powerless to do anything about it? And this is something that I really would like to address. If it's not resolved, but at least it was already brought out into the open. And let the cards, lay as they lay, and bahala na. But at least I know that I was able to do my part in making this known to the general public. Because, at the end of the day, yung publiko talaga mag-decide ito. Ang problema kasi, hindi kasi naiintindihan mabuti kung ano ba itong mga to. Kasi, budget yan parang simple lang dapat. Pero marami pong mga ibang mga bagay na dapat iintindihin. Marami mga ibang forces na dapat talaga binibigyan ng tamang pansin para mas lalo natin naiintindihan. At para sa huli, nagagamot natin, naitatama po natin ito. So, that being said, how do we go about requesting for what is actually due to each and every office? I myself have a problem. I would like to find out how I can get what was actually allocated to my office. As you can see on the screen there, it shows what positions are actually available. And if you divide that by the number of members of Sangguniang, you will see that they're all entitled to one each. And that totals to a certain specific amount, which is probably totals to $12,242,687.08. Now, correct me po if I'm wrong, but is it not against DBM regulations to actually fund or allocate funds for unfilled or vacant plantilya positions?
Ang pinagbabawal lang po, sir, is for a position to be existing in the plantilla without funding. So, okay lang po na may position unfilled but funded. Otherwise, if that position exists in the plantilla, wala namang pondo, ibig sabihin, the LGU does not need that position. Thereby, the LGU should abolish it. So, okay lang sir namin, vacant position but funded in the annual budget.
Okay, thank you po. So now that that has been clarified, ito pong mga nakalagay dito ng mga positions available to us, are we not, as our individual heads of office, entitled to submit our own list of those who will fall under these particular positions? And if, for example, they fail to meet the standards as provided for by CSC rules and regulations, they can still be hired but on a temporary basis. Is that correct, ma'am?
Pwede rin, sir. Pero CSC rules, I believe, limits it to 1 year only.
Yes.
Pwede po, to temporary. Yun yung mga applicants who did not or who lacks eligibility for that position, pwede po yung temporary appointment.
Basta 1 year lang ang maximum. Ano hindi po maximum po? Maximum.
I'm not sure if it's a minimum or maximum, but after a year, it is subject to renewal, subject of course to the discretion of the LGU.
So, if you look at it, there shouldn't be any problem here because we see that we have funds available. This was properly allocated. Now, what would you think would be some of the challenges or the cause of these breakdowns or delays in the release of these particular budgets? Because right now, it's been a month, and I don't think anybody has yet been paid. Those who are under are been paid. And sa totoo lang, nahihirapan na po sila. At, and for some reason, sometimes I'm being pressured to sign something that I know that I shouldn't sign because it's not what I'm actually entitled to. And I feel like I'm being held hostage. And I would like to know what is the proper recourse when it comes to situations such as this. Because I really don't want to have to do what I was advised to do because I mean nobody wants to go into protracted cases. Nobody wants to do that. It isn't good. It isn't good for morale. I myself hold our local chief executive Mayor Tan in very high regard, and that's the last thing I would like to do. But if my hand is forced to, I will have no other recourse but to do such. After, of course, exhausting all administrative measures. So, baka pwede niyo po kaming payuhan dito sa Sangguniang, ano po dapat ang maaari namin gawin para makuha po namin ang nakalaan naman at kami naman ang naglagay niyan kung para sa iyan. How do we go about this? And this is the funny thing. I didn't even know that I had still some positions because, due to the responsibilities that I have to do on a daily basis, these are administrative matters which I really can't really pay attention to that much. So, the staff who is assigned to that is parang caught in between kasi ito yung sinasabi tapos pag mag-argue, pagkaharap ko naman, opo, bibigay po namin ito. Tapos, pagkatapos hindi pala ito pwede, yun ang nagiging rason. And then here we see now that although I will write to our dear budget heads and I'll try and discuss this, but this is already yung pera ng Sangguniang. Ito yung budget ng Sangguniang. Pag hindi namin nagagamit ng tama ito, paano na tumatakbo ang opisina namin? Marami tao hindi naniniwala sa akin, pero minsan nababaon din ako sa utang dahil nga sa hindi tamang pag-release ng mga pondo. And it's true because the demands of public service really require you to shell out some funds. And ito naman ang hinihingi naman namin, kung ano naman bang dapat, kung ano man lang ang nakalagay dito. para naman nakakatakbo ng opisina namin ng tama at hindi na kami napipilitan mag-abono. Na pagdating ng pag-abono, i-disallow naman po dahil hindi raw valid. So, I mean, how is this possible? I mean, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And we are the elected officials and we're not even allowed to provide the services that are demanded from us. I'm sorry I'm ranting like this, but please kindly answer that for us.
Parang gusto kong balikan ang planning at budgeting. Kasi, bakit nga ba tayo nagpaplano at nagbabudget? Para tayo, parang ganito lang yun eh, iisipin ng isang head of an office kung ano ang kailangan niya. Ano ang kailangan niya para patuloy ang pag-operate ng kanyang opisina. Okay? And that is supposed to be captured in the plan and as well into the budget proposal up to ordination of the budget. So yun ang under normal circumstances. Sa umpisa pa lang, tinitingnan natin kung ano yung kailangan natin. What are our needs, essential needs, in order for each of the offices to operate para hindi naman na-disrupt ang pag-deliver natin ng ating basic services. Okay. Ngayon, kapag ito ay na-ordain na meron na tayong budget na sinasabi, under the budget operations manual po kasi, there is that budgeting allotment system na nabanggit po kanina that each of the LGUs are mandated to adopt. Okay. So after doing or releasing allotment to each of the offices, di ba ganun ba yun? Ganun yun, di ba? Merong budget na ina-allot every office in the LGU out of the annual budget. Ngayon, magproprograma or ipoprogram ngayon ng LGU kung paano gagastusin yon. Ibig sabihin, there is a need to really put your activities on the right time, on the right direction. Para ito, kailangan mo April, ito ay dapat magpuntuhan. O di ka itong activity na to, gaganapin sa June, dapat yun nakalad sa June in the LGU's programming. Kasi remember, if we try to see, meron tayong budget, pero remember, based on estimates pa lang yan. Ang tunay na pera ay makukolekta pa rin kada buwan. Remember the release of IRA, we release it monthly. And this is coupled with your generation from your income, from your local income. So, kailangan i-programa ang mga yan. Ngayon, paano magka-come up ang LGU ng proper programming of its expenditure? I suppose, magiging internal rule dapat sa inyo na magsumiti ng mga inyong activities for the year para alam nila kung saan nakalodge yung mga activities at what point in time of the year. Para hindi mawalan ng gagastusin ang isang opisina, gaya ng opisina ni Sir, na kinukuha niya sa out of his pocket. Parang hindi kasi maganda yung gano'n. Ngayon, kung gano'n ang pamamaraan na gagawin, I suppose hindi po mangyayari yun. Kaya ang dapat po kasi is maintindihan ng bawat isa kung paano nire-release, ina-allocate po ng LGU through the Office of the Budget Officer ang pondo ng LGU.
Oh nga, and thank you ma'am, thank you for clarifying that. Here's the thing. We have yet to find out what the actual internal arrangement is because when it's been a frustrating cat and mouse debate, and I was actually advised by some older, more senior counselors that it might be just an exercise in futility because they themselves have gone through this and yet have failed to try and come up with a solution. But I'm still hopeful that this can still be truly resolved, at least in time for next year or for future counselors, so that they won't have to go through this kind of it's actually torture sometimes if you think about it, because you have so many obligations and then you end up advancing all of these things only to find out that your reimbursements are disallowed because apparently it doesn't fall under this particular rule or this particular situation. But then you know you have to be on the official receipt and it hasn't been properly. The question here is it to be released? Like for example, telephone expenses, when the bill comes, shouldn't that automatically be paid out by the LGU, or should the funds be released to the office themselves? Tapos yung opisina po namin ang bahalang magbayad ng mga ganito? What would be the proper thing to do here? Kasi marami dito katulad ng where do we go to the budget? Sanggunian. Kasi po, I can only speak kasi I only have personal knowledge with regard to Sanggunian matters. So I just want to tackle this, but I'm not saying that it's only the Sanggunian that has problems. I'm very sure that the same thing goes around for all the other offices we have here, the head of these persons with disabilities. I've been, and all these other offices. Yung opisina ng ating representative para sa indigenous peoples. You know, hindi nga niya alam, may budget ba kayo? Right? So, we have here, and these have been, you know, I'd like to quote Attorney Brenda Raksak. I recall her mentioning this. Even a simple issue of a printing of a plaque of appreciation for a constituent that actually won, you know, gave international prestige. Alright? The printing of this particular plaque took how many months? 1.5 years. There you go. You know, there's a legal term for that. It's called legal maximal. The thing speaks for itself. Res ipsa loquitur. 1.5 years para ma-release ang pambayad sa plaque. Kung sa plaque pa nga lang, yun ang problema. Ano pa kaya yung mga iba? So ito po yung katotohanan po na nangyayari. Ito po, hindi ko sinasabi ito na ito yung nangyayari ngayon lang. Maaring, you know, it's hard to assume certain things but I know it's a problem, and I know it's a problem that needs to be addressed. And I know that the proper authority to seek redress or to seek guidance would be the Department of Budget. So perhaps you could provide us with some pointers or tips on how we should go about this.
Okay, ano nga ba yung sections are? Is it 2160, sir? The execution and accountability of the annual budget rest upon the shoulders of the local chief executive po kasi. Okay? So I guess yung, as simple as yung bill po niyo for internet should be paid or should pass through the counting. Sana nandito ang COA. Wish ko lang na nandito ang COA. Because they are, yeah.
We actually invited them, all of the pertinent people,
Yeah.
and I've been posting it on Facebook. I've been, you know, wala naman executive privilege na ano okay lang.
Kasi nasa jurisdiction po nila.
Opo, nasa COA na yung quota na this always seems to happen, and this always becomes a problem. Pero, yun talaga sana, no, it really should be handled. Pero, how is it done? I mean, like, for example, just the regular operations. Like, for example, we have, you know, funds like daily expenses, yung mga sweldo ng mga empleyado namin, kailangan pa magpantay ng isang buwan. And I don't understand why it has to be that delay as opposed to the release para sa mga regular plantilla. Because when I was working in the national government, the National Commission on Culture and the Arts, sabay yan lumalabas eh. I mean, if there's really no difference, dapat eh. Sabay yan, wala pinagkaiba. Bakit nagkakaroon ng delay para dito? There seems to be a priority then, and then our poor temporary or other workers are given second-class status. And here, what happens, there is a window of corruption that opens up, you know, and not that I want to accuse anyone or any entity, but opportunities for certain practices, usurious practices, where they take advantage of the person who has yet to receive what is due them. They advance it at a certain interest rate at napapaulit lalo yung pobreng trabahador natin. Ganun din sa mga projects. The reason why hintuan at hindi nagkakaroon ng mga tamang paglalagay ng mga proyekto na nakalaan dito, na nakalagay dito sa budget, eh dahil sa ang mga kontraktor, ang mga negosyante ay ayaw na po mag-apply kasi napakabagal ng release. And, you know, this is, I mean, right there and then there are so many violations which I don't even have to enumerate because we can go on and on about this. But what would you suggest that the next step, because you know this falls under my committee's jurisdiction for good governance, public accountability, and I have an obligation to have some oversight and at least file my committee reports and submit it for action. And I will also be using that if there is no action to be taken as basis for filing of future court cases, if necessary. I hope not. Baka pwede niyo po kaming pisuhan. Maybe you can advise us what the next step we could do to try and create some sort of an understanding with our budget, with the COA, with our accounting office. Because apparently nagkakaroon na ng hidwaan na hindi naman yan ang gusto mangyari. We need to try and collaborate with each other. But if they even refuse to attend these investigations, not to point a dirty finger at anyone, how can we begin to do anything if this is what we get?
Sir, isa lang po sagot yan. Mag-usap-usap po kayo. Because I cannot give a sure answer of what to do next. But you know, we really need to improve planning and programming and everything. But what is more important is understanding, seeing eye to eye, para maintindihan ng bawat isang proseso sa LGU. Alam niyo, ganda-ganda ng Santiago City, kaya kailangan lahat magkaintindihan po dyan. Para wala pong ganitong mga kaso na, you know, mahirap po sir. I really feel what sir feels. Kasi ang dami niyang tanong na ang sagot ay nasa LGU itself. It's really more internal, sir. But, you know, the policies of the Department of Budget and Management is there. Okay? It's there. And it's incumbent upon the LGU to implement it. On the other side of it, we have the accounting side. COA would help. But, again, let's go back to the square one. Dapat talaga mag-usap po kayo, sir, para magkaintindihan kayo ng sistema. And then, kung later on, nakita natin yung sistema natin should be further improved, then kailangan i-improve po based on the whatever document we have in the system.
Thank you. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but the problem is, mahirap makipag-usap sa taong ayaw kakausapin. At mahirap din po parang bigla iniiwasan ka dahil may iiwasan lumabas na so I feel trapped because in no way whatsoever do I have any intention of doing any of this because it was merely out of sheer necessity because this is something that has been going on for the past, I've been in office since 2013 of July, and I keep on getting, sige, pag-usapan natin ito. Napag-uusapan, napag-agrihan na po ito, okay, the internal arrangements, hindi naman natutupad. Alright, and then I'll say, okay, next time around, we'll do this way. Perfect example, there's an issue with regard to I don't appreciate having it fall upon the Sangguniang as a whole as to why certain projects or programs of the current administration are being held or are being delayed. Because the cause of that is not actually the Sangguniang, but the cause of that is the failure of the proponent of that particular program to provide the Sangguniang with the necessary documentation, programming, sustainability report, cost-benefit analysis of this whole particular project, and whether or not it is actually necessary and is feasible. Because in all of my studying of the budgetary process, because I'm also a member of the Committee on Appropriations, and I also worked under my father when he was in the Senate and in Congress. I came to an understanding that, you know, budget process have to be studied and have to be scrutinized properly, and apparently that's not what's going on, and it's sad, and I have the proof to show that what was actually discussed during the Sangguniang deliberations doesn't seem to be actually implemented according to what was agreed upon. And I think we've already come to a point wherein tapos na yung 2.5 years na ako nandito sa 2.5 years na nagkakaroon ng pangako na aayusin at aayusin. But at the end of the day, walang naaayos. So, something has got to give. And which is why this was actually my last-ditch attempt to try and find some sort of middle ground. But apparently, ang nangyari po hindi po sila nakipagano. Ano sasabihin ko sa ating mga constituents? Pag tinanong ako, yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Mr. Nixon Dumag, representing the mga katawan sa kaguluhan pampubliko, militarya, sa buong sa Quezon City. Ako isang public school teacher and national government. Napaka-bold ng mga sinabi ng ating kagalang-galang na councilor. I really appreciate it very much, considering that what he is experiencing now is like a crucifixion under Jesus Christ, who was crucified and nailed to the cross. He cannot even do anything openly because his arms and feet are locked up with nails. So this predicament should be addressed properly. Nakakalungkot isipin na sa hinahaba-haba ng kanyang pagpunta dito, ay ngayon lang natin maririnig ang mga karahingan na ito. Bagamat well accepted sa ating pananaw, katulad ng aking mga kasamahan sa civil society, ito ang CSO, ang Pangulo ng Transport Group, ng libo ang mga membro, katulad ko rin, libo ang mga membro namin, ngayon lang namin naintindihan kung ano yung mga bagay nito. Lamang, ang punto ko rito, wala naman yung mga taong concerned dito na magpapaliwanag kung ano nga ba at paano nga ba. So, muli, ang pakikiramay ko kay Council. Excellent kung masasabi mo dito. Sapagkat tunay yung damdamin ng isang parang api ang kanyang nararamdaman. So, sa may huling pananaw ko naman, tama yung sinabi ng representative ng ating budget mismo. Discuss it in the Sangguniang Palunsod under the bargaining table and come up with a very comprehensive program. And sana hindi pa maging huli ang lahat para mapunan natin ang mga bagay-bagay na ito. At hindi naman natin iisipin na bababa tayong sa ating pwesto na nakayuko ang ating mga ulo na dala ng pighati at inagpis ang kawalan nagawa. Maraming salamat.
Dapat that was so very eloquently stated, sir. Thank you so much for that comment. It's true. Apparently, okay, let's give it one more try. We have to be positive in this. But I'd like to thank the Department of Budget Regional Office for providing their very precious time. Hopefully, next time I'm going to try and schedule another meeting. We'll try and hopefully get those parties concerned. I will personally write Mayor Joseph if he could send also a representative of his, because I know that he's just as frustrated as we are here in Sangguniang. He didn't share, and I see that in him. And it's unfortunate we don't really get to converse that often. It's really a failure in communication. But then again, as I mentioned, if the person you want to communicate with refuses to listen, how can you do anything? But at least we're doing something, and we will be posting this on Facebook, our social media. Another thing is, ang laki ng binudget din dyan sa ating ITC department. We're going to create such an awesome website. I mean, it just recently got up and it's not even working completely, hasn't been fully integrated. There are a lot of questions that I believe falls under my committee, which how can I get answers from if the persons I'm asked to reply are not actually here? So, that being said, wala rin po ang ating DRRMO representative. Nandun po kayo ng budget deliberations po natin? Wala po. No? So, anyways, sa mga hindi pa aware, I've initiated full coverage, unadulterated coverage of all of the proceedings, not just of my committees, but of the entire Sangguniang Panunsod, and as well as our regular sessions. It's on our YouTube channel. We were actually supposed to do this via live streaming today for the first time because our account actually just qualified to do so, but unfortunately we had technical breakdowns because yung naipangako at nakalakad dito na camera ay hindi na i-deliver din. Kaya yung camera ko na meron na personal na nasira na na overuse na. Salamat din sa aking ibisan na nakikigamit na tayo ng ganyan telephone para mag-cover. So I guess I won't prolong this any further unless meron po gusto magsalita po ang ating presidente po ng ating Night Riders. Sir, meron po kayong gusto mag-ibig?
Hello po, sir, magandang buhay po sa ating lahat. Hindi na po yung magandang hapon o magandang umaga, magandang buhay na lang. Sana masama po kami mga Riders doon. Sir, yung napansin ko, lahat po ng meetings po ng mga city government, mas kinagala mahirap po yung buhay. Siguro sa dati ito po ako yung pinakamahirap, sir. But I try my best na makarating po sa lahat ng mga pagpupulo para malaman. Ang nakita ko po problema doon is talagang, honestly sir, wag po kayo magalit o wala akong magalit sa mga dito. Talagang yung nangyayari po is about politics. Sa totoo lang sir, nagigipitan po kayo ng executive at saka yung legislative. Nagigipitan po kayo sir. Naging apektado po yesterday. Kaming may ng Santiago. Ilang months na lang po, bida na naman pa mga tricycle rider. Ako po yung representative ng tricycle industry ng Santiago, bali, kayo po yung mga best friend nyo araw-araw. So ilang months na lang po, andyan na naman po, bida na naman po kami mga tricycle. At sana, sa ngayon po na nag-uusap-usap po kami mga presidente ng tricycle, huwag na pong maulit yung puro pangako din. Yun lang po. At saka, ngayon po sir, bilang committee rin po kayo sa transportation, baka naman po pwede nyo kaming paglaanan ng pansin. Kasi po, sa pabagong-bagong sistema ngayon na nangyayari ng city government traffics, paradahan, whatsoever, kami po ang unang-unang apektado. Yung po last meeting namin ng Wednesday sa St. Hotel, doon po si Pres Dumatis, isa po yun sa nasabi namin na sana po pagtuunan kami ng pansin kasi sa ngayon po kami ang number 1 apektado. And sana po, pag hindi na po umilot yung dulo ng tricycle namin, wala na po kami sasahin, wala na pa yung mga anak namin. Buti nga po yung pinag-usapan dyan, Councilor Rexis, puro mga budget, puro mga pera nakakalula. Samantalang kami, nagtsatsaga kami sa sentabo o sa piso na kikita namin. Opo, dahil hindi namin ang ginagawa na inakot namin sa pag-aaral eh. Pero sana naman po pansin at pakinggan kami ng city government lalo-lalo na po sa mga government. Yun lang po, maraming salamat.
Salamat po, Pres, sa inyong komento. Actually, makikisa naman talaga ako sa inyong paghingi ng saklolo. At actually, ang una kong binigyan ng importansya kung ako ay pumasok sa ay ang mga trikers. Ano naman po ng mga trikers po yan at sinusuportahan ko lahat. Hindi po ba naipasa na rin po namin ang ating tricycle o hindi po ba na-implement yan o ano po ba ang nangyayari po dun sa...
Kasi so parang lang po sa ngayon is wala pa po, sabi po next week hanggang next week po. So far wala pa po kami natatanggap na formal kung kailan po talaga i-implement para at least may patayan din po kami. And sir, isa po namin culture sa ngayon, if possible is yung tungkol sa mga traffics na gusto namin mabago. Sa totoo sir, yung kahit yung mga U-turns lang na bigla, ayaw nila na rin. Maraming mga mga traffic sign po ngayon na hindi namin mag-gets na mga tricycle driver. So siguro po, sabi nga namin, ito yung kaisipan ng mga nagpapatupad niya. What for naman yung kaisipan namin bilang driver, bilang number 1 na gumagamit ng daan ng lungsod ng Santiago. Kung sir, yung mga nagsasinigaban po kayo magagalit ulit mga sir, lalabas po kayo, papasok po kayo, alas 8 ng umaga, lalabas kayo, alas 5 ng hapon. Kami po ang gumagamit ng kalsada simula araw hanggang gabi. Alam po namin yung tunay na sistema, sir. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Naintindihan po namin yun, sir. Naintindihan ko po yan, sir. Pero sabi nga lang, sir, kailan pa po yun? Sabi nga is, sino pang kakain ng daw kung patay ng kabayo? Sabi naman ako, pakain sa kalabaw pa. Joke lang po. Sana, sir, yung kami po yung grupo na nangangailangan ngayon ng immediate response. Yun lang po, sir. Magandang hapon po lang.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong comment. Makakarating po ang iyong ilayin at gagawin po lahat ng magagawa po ng aking opisina upang matugunan po ito sa lalong madaling panahon. Ang daming ginagawin, ano? Ang daming dapat ano ba pupunahin natin? Definitely, we will be paying attention to this because the traffic is horrendous in Santiago City now. And I agree with you. I myself, I use a motorcycle when I work because of the traffic. And it's just like Metro Manila. I mean, I just came from Metro Manila and halos ganun na lang din. Pati yung simoy ng ating nilalanghap, uubuhin ka na rin talaga. Probably before we end, I just want to get this out in the open. I mentioned this prior to the beginning of our hearing. This is with regard to the budget of the RMO. Now, this is something which is very close to my heart because, of course, to add the necessary. All of these disasters right now are the cause of climate change, and everyone has already agreed to the factual notion that climate change is a reality and it is already upon us, and it is our obligation to provide proper adaptation and mitigation measures para matugunan natin o prepare tayo sa mga pagdating ng mga iba't ibang delubyo. This is a issue which I pointed out during our budgetary deliberations, but then unfortunately the head po hindi po nakapagbigay ng report katulad po ng paano po ba ang stockpiling natin, paano po ba pag nagkaroon ng delubyo, ready na ba ang ating evacuation centers? Saan ba ang mga evacuation centers? Our existing evacuation centers actually house 8,975 people who are placed at risk. The 6,000 families that are also placed at risk. I don't want to be caught flat-footed when the time comes, God forbid, but if it does, we're going to be falling flat on our faces. And I think this is something that we really need to pay attention to, and I believe the Office of the Vice Mayor understands this, and he has given me carte blanche as to my oversight function with regard to this. So, hindi naman kasi ganito, dapat tayo na pag dyan na lang puro tayo last minute, tapos we're gonna get caught off-handed. We saw what happened in the past. We saw what happened with Yolanda and all of these things. We've been so lucky that we haven't been affected because of our climate change. But then, what we don't also understand is we should have been a part of the whole metro-wide earthquake drill because we actually live right smack in the middle of a fault. I'm not sure if anyone is aware of this. I've been saying this time and again. I've been talking to our engineering department with Engineer Regosal and requesting that we actually do a survey or inventory of all the existing structures within Santiago City so that we can determine its actual integrity. Or should 5.2, 7.2 earthquake strike us, which of these buildings will actually hold, which of them are no longer safe, and which of these no longer safe buildings actually have an occupancy of innocent people. That's it. Baka yung school mismo, ang hindi structurally, we need these things. Ito, I think, is something we have to focus on. Not because masyado tayong planning na baka ano mangyari, but it's good to be prepared. Mas mabuti nang prepared na tayo, ready tayo. Hindi katulad ng sa training po, alam niyo naman, are we complete sa lahat po ng training katulad? Kasi ang naging issue dito, prior to nagkaroon ng complete change in everything. And the unfortunate part here is wala pong na-political din. Actually, the bottom line is not political. Pero pag pagdating sa mga ganitong klaseng departamento, ganitong klaseng mga kailangan ibigay na serbisyo, hindi na dapat kasali ang politika dito. Diba? This should be ongoing and continuous. And unfortunately, ang nangyayari, we end up spending more and more for something that should have already been taken care of. And this is actually not sound budgetary practices. And something that I raised also during our budget hearing. Nakalipas ng 6 na buwan, kung maaari po, hingi po itong committee ng status report mula po sa inyong pong opisina as to the number of trainings that have actually been completed, the corresponding budget that was appropriated. I recall that there was a budget for uniforms and materials which came out at an alarming 40,000 pesos per set. I remember Attorney Raksak and I can't recall who else was there present doing the computation because it was a lump sum, and then we asked how many volunteers are there or how many rescue employees are there. They gave a number, tapos we divided. So this is just for the uniforms and equipment. So how much will it cost per set? What happened to the old set? Or something like this. There needs to be continuity kasi napapansin din during the last deliberations, parang napondohan na namin ito. Ano ba nangyari kung sa napondohan? Parang nauulit. So, nagkakaroon ng domino effect. Ang nangyayari, yung pinaglaanan na ng pondo natin dahil for some reason, declare as a savings, tapos na-realign for some other project, which I would think is actually tantamount to circumvention of the law. Yan ang nakakalungkot na realidad na nangyayari. Ang problema dito, we can't just complain about it. We have to find a solution because it's half-baked. Pag ito ay napansin mo na, what is the next step? And this is what we need to properly address. A lot of people love to point fingers. A lot of people, kasi kasalanan ito, kasalanan ganyan. Pero hanggang tulog na lang eh. Ano na ngayon ang pwede natin gawin na maganda? Na not necessarily harping after this particular thing or crying over spilled milk, but what can we do now to try and save what is left of our budget? And as advised by our regional DBM representatives, we will try for one more time to try and open up another dialogue. When can we schedule another hearing? And then we will write and request them to attend. Or perhaps if they don't want to do a public hearing, we can do a committee meeting. Baka kasi na ayaw kasi. But the thing is, dapat malalaman na ng tao ito eh. Matagal, alam mo, this is the reason why nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. Kasi nga, the people, kayo po mga ordinaryo tao, ang parang naiiwan sa ere. At tuloy, hindi nyo alam kung sino nagsasabi ng totoo sa amin, di ba? Eto, sasabihin ko na, ito na yung totoo, ito na talaga nangyayari. At all of my hearings have always been open to the public, kahit pwede kong napapanood po sana. Dapat nga, meron na sana tayong channel, ngunit hindi nga napondohan ito. Sana maging katulong na lang tayo. Pagtulungan na lang natin to na ipagbigay niyo pong alam sa mga kasamahan po ninyo na meron tayong mga proseso, meron kayong pwedeng idaan ng mga tao na pwede mong kausapin na para mas lalo lang naintindihan. Kasi masalimuot itong pinag-uusapan tapos hindi pa natin na-resolve. So hindi ko po nilalagay ng tuldok itong usapin na ito as advised by our regional representatives from the DBM, we will try one last time and we will schedule another meeting. Hopefully, ma'am, you will also be able to attend and then we'll try one more time and hopefully we'll get an answer. So that being said, unless anybody else would like to make any comments before I formally close. So we will definitely magbibigay po alam kami either sa Facebook or sa lahat po ng tao sa gusto makinig o mapanood itong pagpapatuloy. Marami pang mga ibang issue na dapat natin talakayin, hindi lang itong tatlo na ito. Marami pa sa talusugan. Marami pa dapat tayo dapat talakin. Ngunit maubusan naman po tayo ng oras. So let's try and schedule something. Kapag walang quorum bukas, pwede ba tayo ulit mag-meeting? No, kahit hindi na sila, kahit initial talks na namin. But let's schedule something next week so there's more time. But siguro tayo dito sa loob ng LGU, pwede na rin tayo mag-ano. But I think what's necessary in order for this to actually happen, we would require an outside objective person from, preferably from the DBM and then from maybe from COA to try and bridge the gap that has already been created by this. I doubt that they would be willing to sit down if it's just us or if it's just, perhaps maybe if there was someone in between to try and negotiate or properly manage the problem. That being said, we will please provide them with the site so that they can view it or download a copy and burn them and send them a copy, deliver na lang natin sa kanilang office. This will also, after we have taken down the minutes, we'll be posting it on Facebook. Hopefully, kindly share it also with your friends and family para maano din naman nila. So that being said, we will now adjourn and we will set the date for the next attempt to continue this particular proceeding. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. I truly appreciate your time, your effort, and your dedication to public service. Thank you so much. Ms. Sanjay.